Marston's Old Empire IPA.
And remember, life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got one from Marston's and it's their Old Empire IPA. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I've had this before. I used to drink it, they used to have it in the shop around the corner in Skunk Central. And I went through a phase of drinking it and I got put off of it because every time I drank it, it gave me a headache while I was drinking it. Now, certain beers do that to me. I don't know why, but they do. And I always found with this one, I always got a headache. And it really used to piss me off because I'd be right in the mood for a beer and I'd have a couple of bottles of this. And before I'd finish the second bottle, I'd have a pounding headache. And I stopped drinking it. And I haven't drunk this now for years. I don't know what it tastes like. The bottle's still the same. It never used to be like this. It used to be clear. And it was called Empire Ale. It wasn't called Old Empire. But when I started drinking this, it was in a bottle that looked like this. And to be honest, yeah, as I say, it was okay. I thought it tasted reasonably good. And then the headache came and I just thought, fuck this. And it just put me right off the beer and I haven't tasted it since. So I thought I'd revisit it. Now, I've been drinking a few Marston beers, or I've reviewed a few Marston's beers lately. Some that I've not tried before, like the Old Roger. And what was the other one? I tried another one from them. I cannot remember because I'm getting old and slow. But this is one that I did try. I was Pedigree. You see, when I don't think about things, they come back to me. So yeah, it was Pedigree. I reviewed that. And that wasn't too bad. It was quite a nice amber ale. But this stuff, yeah, there is a theme that runs through Marston's. I mean, they're a Burton brewer, so you know they've got that sort of heritage. But their beers are not massive on flavour. They're more solid, you know, chuggers rather than, you know, ones to savour for their great aromas and the great flavour that they give. But I can't really remember this stuff now because I've tried to blot it out of my mind. But this is a British IPA or an English IPA. You can just tell by the whole livery on the bottle. It just, you know, it's got the elephant on there, and you know, it's basically trying to conjure up images of India. And it's called Old Empire. Of course, Americans wouldn't put Old Empire on their IPAs, would they? Because they've never had an empire. Like that fucking matters. As I say, Marston's have been going quite a while now, and you know they've got a rich heritage that goes back a long way. They've just been taken over by Carlsberg. I did a video on the takeover and the implications on that. Still reading up about that. I heard there was a investigation from the Monopolies Commission on that because some other brewers complained about the merger. To be honest, Carlsberg and Marston's do own quite a few other breweries as well, like the Witchwood and the Ringwood Brewery, and they bought some other brands of beers like Mann's Brown Ale, and they bought Lancaster Bomber, I think, and they bought a couple of Courage ones. I think they bought Directors too. I used to love Directors. I should review it. I think I reviewed that ages ago and something happened to the video. I should get a bottle of Directors because I remember I used to love that. That was one of my favourites. Anyway, let's stop guessing and let's get on to this beer. It is a 500ml bottle. It is 5.7%. on the side it says a memorable and deceptively easy drinking IPA. That's what I remember. It was nice and easy drinking. This is an authentic recreation of the beer style created for and enjoyed throughout the Empire. Goldings, Fuggles and American Cascade hops. Well, you wouldn't get fucking Cascade hops in the original recipe, so you know, I don't know where you're getting that from. Combined to give a crisp citrus hop aroma with a balanced bittersweet finish. Okay, if you want to look up the history of IPA, I've done a video on that. Please check that out. For me, the best IPA I've tasted is Shepherd Neame. That, to me, now I've obviously never tasted what IPA tasted like back then, but if you look at the history of it and how it came about, the Shepherd Neame stuff, and they do claim to faithfully stick to an old recipe. So do Samuel Smith's as well. Their IPA was nice, but their pale ale was nicer. But the Shepherd Neame stuff for me was the best English IPA that I've tasted. It is absolutely outstanding. This stuff, I just remember as being an easy drinker. Not as easy drinking as the Fuller's Bengal Lancer. Now that is another outstanding English IPA. I'm going to do a review of all my favourite styles of beer from each country, and of course I've got all my British beer lined up at the moment. I'm not going to give you any spoilers on that. You're going to have to wait. I'll do that at the end of the year. I'm doing it for German beer, I'm doing it for Belgian beer, I'm doing it for British beer, and I may do a world beer one as well. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, I'm talking way too much. Let's get this beer open and see what's going on. Okay, now you've got to remember Marstons are a Burton brewer, and you do get certain flavours from their yeast and the water that they use. Do I need to even do this? Now the autofocus has decided it wants to work. You fucking bastard. See, this is what the camera does to me. I'm saying how great it is. No, that's not too bad. There's the cap. There you go. Right, let's get it in the glass, see what is going on. Quite light in colour, that's what I would expect. Wow, huge sulphur coming out of this. Really am getting some sulphurous aromas. That's probably from the yeast and the water combined. There is a faint cloudiness to this beer on the nose. Wow. Biscuit malt. And citrus as well. Quite fruity. And sweet as well. It does smell reasonably pleasant. Let's get the rest of it in a glass. Now, I don't think this is bottle conditioned. It doesn't say it on there, and for the life of me, I can't remember whether it was or not. It doesn't say blah 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 on the back, nothing on the front. So yeah, I'm assuming this isn't. Big biscuit malt coming out of it, quite sweet. It's like a rich tea covered in marmalade with a little touch of earth on the top of it. It smells reasonably good. The aromas aren't big. I'm having to sort of dig deep to get them aromas, but I wouldn't have expected anything less from Marston's because that's what they do. They're not huge on the flavour. There, look, that's very, very slightly cloudy. There's a fair bit of carbonation in there. One finger whitehead. Nice amber colour. I do like that colour. Right, let's get it down the hatch. You're good, Elf. Not bad. not bad. I'm getting a little bit of a bitter finish on there from them Fuggles hops. Some nice spicy notes on the end, but there of course is quite a bit of citrus in this as well, but not as you would expect from American style hops. This is more British. It's sort of orangey, orange and a touch of lemon on there as well. It's giving you a little bit of lemon bitterness too. And a bit of a biscuit malt finish on there too. This isn't big on flavour, I have to say that. But as they say on the bottle, it is quite drinkable. And it's, well, I'm going to say it's never going to win any awards for flavour. But of course it obviously depends on what it's up against. But and it's going to prove me a lie now, it probably has won awards. But it's not massive on the flavour. There is some there, but you've got to dig a little bit deep to get them flavours. But it is very drinkable. There's no nasties in there. There's no spiky flavours that make you want to sort of not chug this. But yeah, this is a nice one. Very nice mouthfeel. To be honest, pretty inoffensive. Faint biscuit malt, fair bit of citrus, and some nice hop bitterness on the finish with a little touch of spice. You've got bits of citrus mixed in there now with sort of orange and lemon. Very subtle, but it's there. And a nice touch of bitterness on the arse end of it. And it's quite nice. More so for drinking than for the flavour. Now I just put the video up for the Hereford lager, or the Pils from Germany. And that was pretty similar, not flavour wise, but it had the same characteristic. Flavour, it wasn't really there. But drinkability, yeah, definitely there. Body on this is just right, I think. It shouldn't be any bigger, but it's not thin and it's not weak. It's just right. Not as good as the Fuller's stuff, certainly not as good as the Shepherd Neame stuff, and certainly not as good as the Sam Smith stuff. But on a hot day, you know, if you didn't want to drink lager, you could pop that in the fridge, drink this cold, and it'd be just as refreshing, I think, anyway. Yeah, no real complaints. There's nothing nasty in there. It's just not big on flavour. But that's, you know, that's the nature of Marstons. Their beer is like that. And, you know, it's one of them things, you know, you walk into a pub, you see a Marston's beer, if there is nothing else that catches your eye, you won't really go wrong with a Marston's. It's just, you know what you're getting. Not too much, but it's better than the fucking John Smith's Cream Flow and the other fucking Tetley's and all the other shit they serve up in pubs now, you know, that have got nitrogen pumped through them, so they look nicer than they actually taste, you know. But yeah, I'm not complaining about this at all. So what's the verdict on Old Empire? Well, the headache hasn't kicked in, so that is a bonus, I will say. Again, it's like all their beers. The pedigree is pretty similar. Not massive on flavour, but very nice, very drinkable. This is the same as well. 5.7%. You know, it's got a bit of a kick in it, but it's quite smooth. You wouldn't know it was almost 6%. There's no real spirit alcohol on this. It's just a biscuit malt, bit of citrus, orange and lemon citrus, some nice earthy and spicy bitterness on the finish, but everything has got the volume turned down to 1. And you know, if you're really trying to get the flavours and the aromas, you have to dig deep. But you know, if you just want to enjoy the beer, it's perfectly acceptable. I'm going to give it, all things considered, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think that's about right for what it is. The drinkability is there, the flavours are there if you want to put the effort into it, but it doesn't jump out as being an absolutely outstanding beer. I wouldn't be ranting and raving about this. I wouldn't be recommending people buy this over other stuff. But if it's there and it's all that's available, you will not go too wrong with that. So 7 out of 10, recommended with a bit of caution. And remember, beer is working class champagne.